Incredible weather, incredible wind, incredible scenery, the green. I was missing this feeling. I was missing nature. And my water here. I wore a hoodie in tank top weather. I'm a little bit pissed, but you know, there's gotta be balance. Can be perfect. Someone asked me under that video that kind of blew up a little bit. I'm so grateful for it still. It's insane to me. 11,000 people. One of my first like bigger wins. So grateful. In that video, I was talking about how empathetic people have a more prominent level of self-doubt and insecurity. Not always, but I put it in the name of the video. In general, you question your value, your goodness, your identity much more when you're empathetic and more understanding, even to the disrespectful sides of a person who is your opponent, or in any type of interaction really. You just doubt yourself more because you leave more open space for your opinion to be not the only right one. At the end of that video, I said, a solution to that is realizing that the insecurity was needed for you to build confidence, because confidence is ultimately what's going to help you live a fulfilled, better life. That's all that we want right now. That's why we talk about these things, because we want to establish that, you know, core and strength and find inner peace, or rediscover it, notice it rather than find it, because it's nothing to be found. It's always here. You just need to tune in and connect yourself to it. To overcome that insecurity that's no longer serving you, it's just disrupting your peace, you need to strengthen your values. Strengthen your values and stay strong in them in order to protect your goodness, because there are examples in history, in culture, in movies, in songs, in any kind of context that you pick. There are always examples of, you know, goodness and genuine hearts being used, and it's often in real life as well, because, you know, even in Bible, even in holy books, this representation of humility and strength of a big good heart always came with accepting disrespect and ignorance and allowing yourself to get hurt. I don't agree with that necessarily. You can be confident, you can be strong, you can have boundaries, and your normal state, your birthright, should be inner peace. You don't need to fight for love. You don't need to constantly prove to people that you deserve to be respected, you deserve to be seen, you deserve to be listened to, heard, understood, and, you know, held, supported. It's all a part of the journey to realize that maybe these people that you need to prove all of this to aren't your people. Only because your value, your core of confidence in your goodness wasn't that strong at that time. So you were naturally reflecting that energy outwards, and you were connecting to people who were only giving you what you thought you deserved, you know? And it doesn't mean that you were a bad person or they were a bad person. It was just a certain level of energy that you were, you know, that you were allowing yourself to experience. It's a very healthy way to realize that you are ready for the next step. We established that we need strong morals, strong values, strong principles to stick to be able to protect our peace, protect who we are, because you can't survive just off of empathy. It's not sustainable to accept anything and everything, because look at nature even. We are co-creating with it, we are utilizing it, we're working with it, but when it's being abused, it shows a certain reaction. You know, we get earthquakes, we get floods, we get natural disasters. It's all karmic cycles. It's all restoration. It's all imbalanced, balancing itself out. Nature shows you clearly when it's being treated in a way that's not reflecting its purest value. It gives you a response that reflects your behavior. So be like nature. Show people exactly what they're showing you, you know, without lowering yourself to their level. Well, your birthright is peace. Your value is love. So act out of it. But remember to protect your energy in a loving, empathetic way, but also like with strong boundaries. You know, like you can't cross this. You know? A flood. Communicate your values to people in a action-based way, and if they still cross your boundaries, you know, a tsunami or I don't know, a fire of some sort. Protect your power. You can create so much with it, especially if you connect it to all the other sources of pure love that are out there. If you don't decide to just use it on anyone and anything, because it's very attractive. Goodness is very attractive. Everyone wants to have a piece of empathy, especially if they don't have to act on it, if their ignorance is going to be accepted, if they're still going to be loved and understood for their mistakes and forgiven all the time. This is a good topic for a video. Or, you know, forgive and forget, or forget or forgive. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying here? It's like, can you forgive and accept someone but still choose to have no contact with them in order to protect your peace? Or is it not counting as forgiving? Okay, anyways, our main thing right now is, though, to strengthen our values. And it really depends on the type of person you are, on the stage of your evolution you're in, but if you don't have set values right now, focus on building them. And in order to build or sustain or strengthen, it doesn't really matter, your values, you need to take action. It's the only way to show your body that something is changing, that you are, you know, connecting yourself to this intention. Intentions aren't reflecting who you are, your actions are. So you need to treat yourself like you want to be treated. You need to see yourself as you see other people. You expect from people to be confident in their intentions towards you and show you in their actions what they want from you, how they actually treat you, how they see you, how they respect you, but you don't expect from yourself to do the same thing. You're saying that you want to be healthier and you still eat trash food. You say that you are strong, you have this like wellness mindset, connecting with nature, you respect everything that's around you, you're very connected to the source, and you still hurt others, you still hurt nature. Your actions need to align with your values, with your intentions, in order to strengthen them in any way. You can't just say that you believe in meditation, that you are clearing your mind, that you want to have a peace of mind without actually praying, meditating, sitting in silence. Hours of analyzing, journaling, breathing in the wind, sitting in the dark. You can't just say that and become that person. Almost like overusing affirmations in real life, you know, not like standing in front of the mirror and saying I'm beautiful, not in that sense, but like saying that you are doing something, stating that you believe in something, then acting in a completely opposite way. It's exactly how you not become the person you want to become. It's just, it's actually a scientifically proven chemical reaction in your brain. When you tell everyone what you're going to do, when you tell everyone your plans, so I'm going to run a half marathon in May, and you're telling everyone this, you get a hit of excitement, you get a hit of that pleasure, a hit of dopamine, because you were praised for a second, you were like supported for a second, and you feel really good about it. And that dopamine that you got from that reaction or response kind of fills the gap of the emotion that needed to be, completed, of like the reason why you actually wanted to do the run, if that makes sense, So that dopamine was enough for you, so you're not even starting to do the thing that you were telling everyone. And it's not just with like running, anything, any of your plans, don't tell them to people right away, not just because, you can mess up the energy, Of course, if you believe in that, obviously don't tell anyone, I don't care. But it's gonna mess with your idea of how you actually complete your tasks. Do everything for you because you promised yourself to do this. Your values define who you are, and you want to be the lightest version of yourself. So do it to be that version of yourself. Do it to be stronger. Do it to feel better. Do it to show up in a more loving manner to everyone and everything. You will see progress in your mind doing things even if it doesn't want to do things. And that's the progress that you need to strive for. Don't expect to reach the goal right away. Don't expect to meet your soul family because you gain this strength in your values right away. A following question to that question, how to strengthen your values, was how do I connect with people who have similar values? Because often people on self-improvement, people on their healing journeys, people who have more, who have less acceptance and empathy to ignorance than most people, they find themselves to be very lonely, very isolated, very disconnected. They can't relate to anyone. It's almost like there is a wall between you and the world. You see everything, you engage with everyone. At some point, you might stop engaging with everyone because it's so excruciatingly painful and exhausting. One thing I'll say, don't intentionally disconnect and isolate yourself from everyone, because human connection will actually help you on your healing journey, no matter how maybe low quality it is. I'm not saying go into abuse, because obviously if you're abused, that's like too low of a quality. I'm saying if it's surface level, let it be surface level. Obviously don't make these people your best friends or call them your family or your tribe, but do not reject every interaction, because it's not elevating your spirit. Everything can elevate your spirit. A simple smile from a stranger, a simple little conversation with a cashier can elevate your spirit. It's kind of an act of ego to say that you don't connect to people. Like you will realize this after. When you isolate yourself for a long time, you start to see patterns in your thinking. You start to actually recognize your own issues, why you disconnected, why your behavior is kind of not helping you grow in a certain way. You will see all of this, but just don't disconnect from everyone. But build strong boundaries, because staying in relationships that are limiting you, that are stopping you from your growth, that are not supporting your evolution, is not doing you any good. And see, this is a very important thing. If people don't understand your journey, it's completely fine. If people actively don't support your journey, that's when you kind of turn away. This is how I see it, because not everyone will understand you. Actually, most people will never understand you or realize why you're doing this or connect to your purpose. But them still having belief in you and them still showing love and support and, being there with you, holding space for your realizations and, believing that you can go far is the type of genuine energy that's very valuable, and they actually deserve to be in your life. So they kind of reflect your values, not in a way that they reflect your values meaning they're going in the same direction, because that's unsustainable. That's too high of an expectation to have right away. You want to have people around you who are interested in investing, let's say stocks, and your friends are making fun of you. You can't expect them to understand why you're doing stocks, but you can expect them to hold space for your interests, to hold space for the journey that you see ahead of yourself. You have the right to expect them to support you anyways. And if they don't, that means they're not reflecting the value of empathy that you have within you, but they have the right to not reflect the value of investing in stocks. You see what I mean? So they don't have to go in the same direction, but if they're not holding space and love in their heart for your vision, is when they kind of move away from you, because you've outgrown them in a sense. You're just going in two completely different directions, People who are interested in medical field, people who are interested in arts, and people who are interested in stocks can go in one direction, even though their paths are different. But people who are ignorant, people who are loving, and people who hate are completely three different paths, if that makes sense. First step to connect with people, or connect to people who see your value, match your values, is clearing your following, but in real life. Stop connecting or empathizing or allowing in your space people who you don't feel understood around. When you leave their presence, you feel drained. You feel like a burden. You feel misunderstood, or you feel completely not seen and just ignored. Why do you want that? Why do you need your space to be cluttered with this energy? I completely do not understand this. It might fill the void, but it's not even filling the void with nothing dopamine inducing. It's just trash. is just completely degenerate, or people who are actively doing things like fucking up their systems or overindulging in ignorant activities, just doing things that are completely not on your path. That's like the first step. Just disconnect from them. Even if it means everyone around you, you still will have some people who don't do these things. Very, very rare to disconnect from them and still have no one to talk to. You will see that naturally, like, God will push a few people towards you, like 1 or 2 people who are still going to be able to understand you and support you and you know, scoop you up after that selection process. You'll still have someone, so trust. Just trust it, do the hard thing even if you don't feel like it. So the first step is clearing the space so you have more energy to work with. You have a clean desktop and you can start working. This is the stage of active work on strengthening your values, of becoming who you want to become. And as I said, you can't just talk about it. You need to actively take steps every day, take action, show up, and do it just for you, like no one is watching. Every time I was running every day in that stage of my life, it was like almost 2 years of running every day. It was so crazy. Oh, I'm so proud of myself that I did that. It did show me a lot. I'm really proud of me. So when I was running, I was thinking to myself, I was really pushing myself. I ran for speed, I ran for time, I ran for endurance, I ran for calories. I was timing it in a very different way every day, but I had my routine. So I was always telling myself, even if no one was here in this gym with me right now, I would still run this hard. I would still have this music in my headphones. I would still have this motivation, because I said that I will run nonstop for 30 minutes, very fast. I don't even remember the speed, and I still did it, even if no one was watching. That's like the emotion that you need to come to. No one cares about you. It's all just you versus you. And in that way, you'll be able to strengthen your values more efficiently. And, you know, it's going to stay with you long term. Because if you're doing it for someone to notice, for someone to say, ooh, look how they've grown, or look how they improved, or wow, you changed, or like congratulate you at the end, you're not doing it for a good reason. Don't overcomplicate it, just go and do it. It's that simple. Peace is actually available to you now. You created this space between you and the peace that you're craving, the love that you're craving. You can just sit on the grass and decide to, from this moment, take steps, take action to be better. But you're kind of fearful of that, and I understand it. It's like you need to accept that you're actually a little bit scared of that love. You're actually a little bit scared of living that full life, your whole potential. It is scary, it is intimidating, because you internally know what you're capable of. It can be too much. That's why you're not ready for it yet. But if you are, take small little steps. That's exactly why it takes time, because you're not ready for it right away. You wouldn't be able to take all of that love that you want if you decided to receive it tomorrow. That's why God doesn't give it to you right away. It's not because you don't deserve it now and you need to work for it. It's because you're just not ready for it. You're deserving of it all the time. You know, just show up and grow into it. Yeah. You got this. Bye-bye.